This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 6th day of August in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The election fraud trial, which started last week and was adjourned after 3 days, will now see the attorneys and defendants back in court until mid-September, as the presiding magistrate has fallen ill and has been granted a 30-day sick leave. The case was originally scheduled to restart on Monday, but over the weekend the prosecution and defense teams were informed of the magistrate's illness, with a plan to restart the case tomorrow, Wednesday. However, the two sides were informed today by the magistrate's clerk that she remains ill and has been granted 30 days sick leave. Since the trial started, only two witnesses for the prosecution have so far taken the stand, with one of them still to complete her testimony. During the last court date, the special prosecutor, Darsham Ramdani, had complained about the many objections by the defense. He had also questioned the magistrate, Lerone Daly, about her note-taking and some of the evidence that had not been allowed in the matter. Since then, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has also questioned the pace of the trial and the objections being allowed by the presiding magistrate. The Vice President has also called for diplomatic observers to be present in the courtroom to observe the trial. The main opposition parties have since accused the Vice President of attempting to intimidate the court, and they have called on the Guyana Bar Association to take note of the statements made by the Vice President about the ongoing trial. The defendants in the matter are former Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers, and former Region 4 Returning Officer Claremont Mingo, along with Opposition Member of Parliament Vola Lawrence, PNC Reform Member Carol Smith-Joseph, and election officers Shifrin February, Enrique Leven, Denise Bob Cummings, and Michelle Miller. Together, the 9 accused are facing 19 conspiracy charges relating to an alleged attempt to declare fraudulent results during the course of the 2020 elections. They have all maintained their innocence in the matter. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
Start packing this, yeah?
I ain't start packing yet. Usually I pack a couple hours before and I go. Drive. I got my phone, I got my keys, my charger, my
Procrastinating planning for the future? Well, that's never a good idea. Let Demerara Mutual and Demerara Fire and General help you get started with planning for your future today. I'm with Dem.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
2 days after the Chief Justice ruled that the Guyana Revenue Authority's increase in the excise tax on duty-free vehicle import for remigrants was illegal, the government has moved to gazette the increase to make it legal and applicable. According to the gazetted documents, remigrants with duty-free concessions who are seeking to import a vehicle that is 3,000 cc and above will now have to pay an excise tax rate of 30%. The previous rate was 10%. If they are seeking to import a vehicle between 2001 cc and 3000 cc, the rate will be 20%, and vehicles with an engine size of 1801 cc to 2000 cc will now attract a 10% excise tax rate. Vehicles below 1800 cc will attract an excise tax rate of 5%. In a High Court ruling last week in favor of a remigrant who faced a 30% excise tax rate and objected to it, the Chief Justice found that the GRA's policy of requiring 30% excise taxes was unlawful, and also granted an order quashing the assessment of the 30% excise tax, since it had not been gazetted or laid before the National Assembly at that time. The GRA was also ordered to refund all of those persons who had paid the new rate, which at the time was unlawful. During the case, the GRA admitted that it had made a mistake with the implementation of the new tax rate at the time, because while the minister responsible for finance had signed the new regulations, they were not duly brought into force, since they were not published in the official gazette or tabled in the National Assembly, more than a year after he had signed the regulations. Well, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, has now signed the gazetted order. As piles of garbage continue to build up around the city of Georgetown, in particular around the main commercial zone, the Georgetown City Council will have to decide whether it will drop the hammer on the contractor, Guyana Waste Solutions, which has so far repeatedly failed to meet its contractual obligations to the City Council. That's according to the Mayor of Georgetown, Alfred Mentor. Guyana Waste Solutions, which is owned by businessman and former cricketer Lennox Cush, has been contracted to uplift garbage in 5 of the 15 constituencies around Georgetown, including East and West Rheinveld, Old Boys Town, Work and Rust, and the commercial zone. However, the company has been operating in a breach of the contract, with piles of garbage being left across the city streets for days. The mayor of Georgetown said the company has been repeatedly warned about its poor performance, and it is now for the council to decide on whether it will terminate at least one of the 5 contracts awarded to the company.
Last part of this, as it relates to the termination, will have to take effect at some point. So as we exhaust all these different opportunities and this latitude that we have been giving to this contractor or other contractors that falter from time to time, we'll have to bring out the wild cane, so to speak.
The City Council is set to meet next Monday, and the issue is expected to come up on the agenda. Late last month, the City Council's Waste Disposal Committee met with the owner of Guyana Waste Solutions, Lennox Cush, along with the company's general manager, to discuss a possible solution. It was explained at the meeting that the two sides agreed that the Waste Disposal Management Department, which is currently responsible for 3 constituencies, would lend support to the company. But according to the mayor, even with the additional support being offered, the issue remains the same, with the municipality being flooded with complaints. He said a new arrangement has also placed a burden on the city's Waste Disposal Department, and so tough decisions will have to be made.
Based on the contract itself, it states it doesn't have the option of suspension. It has the option of termination. So it's something that we'll be looking at the next council meeting. However, we may have to ask as another option, I mean, I've been trying my best not to have to terminate. But if, based on the discussions that we will have at the next statutory, that we don't have an option of suspension, but we have an option of termination, and that at worst, maybe they will need to have a window of two contractors talking, where one has lesser jobs to talk with the one that has more jobs, and to find a way to have a support mechanism in place. Because while we were asking our department, which has about 3 constituencies, to do some work, that has also affected our work in the constituency as well. So we don't want to have to dig one hole to fill another one, and to end up having a challenge.
The waste disposal company has been complaining about experiencing technical problems with its fleet of vehicles, in addition to a shortage of workers. Sandip Disposal Services, another contractor, was also experiencing similar challenges with its fleet of vehicles. But according to the mayor, after a meeting with the waste disposal committee, the company managed to resolve the issues. The Georgetown City Council spends more than $250 million monthly with its contractors for waste disposal services. The opposition APNU-AFC sees the government's move to the National Assembly seeking $40 billion in supplementary provisions as the result of poor planning and mismanagement. Last week, Finance Minister Dr. Ashney Singh presented 2 financial papers to the National Assembly, seeking supplementary estimates current in relation to advances made from the contingency fund, totaling $8.6 billion between the 1st of April and the 30th of July, and supplementary estimates current and capital, totaling $32.2 billion for the period ending the 31st of December 2024. The return for supplementary funding came 6 months after a $1.1 trillion budget was approved by the National Assembly. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said from all indications the government will be returning to the National Assembly again for more supplementary funding before the end of this year.
The more the PPP government spends, the more money is lost through poor planning, mismanagement, and corruption. The IMF estimates these losses as between 40 to 50% for every dollar spent. Therefore, in the 2024 budget, currently at at 1,146 trillion, the Guyanese people will lose hundreds of billions of dollars. The PPP is inherently incapable of seeing this as the crisis it is.
Norton said the PP Civic Administration appears to be ignoring a recommendation from the International Monetary Fund for a strong and effective public financial management system and a robust public investment management framework. Instead, he said there appears to be no policy from the government to reduce this massive loss in public funds.
Instead, we are presented with a bloated budget on budget day and several supplementary budgets throughout the year. It is now a well-settled fact that tens of billions of dollars are lost to the PPP's elite, friends, families, and favorites through their corruption network, and for the tens of billions lost through incompetence in the form of poor planning and mismanagement.
The opposition leader said there needs to be an investigation into how monies are being spent, since no checks and balances appear to be in place. He said money lost through corruption and incompetence is money that could have gone to increasing the wages and salaries for teachers and other public servants and providing for the cost of living relief.
Region 4. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting its annual general meeting for the period 2021 to 2022 on Sunday, the 25th of August, 2024 for members of Region Number 4. The meeting will be convened at the Critchlow Labor College, Wolford Avenue at 10 hours. Members are encouraged to pre-register at bit.ly/GPSCCU AGM 2024 for further instructions instructions on how to take part in the meeting and to vote for a new committee of management. The meeting will take place both online and in person at various locations across the country. Full participation of members is encouraged. Let us move your credit union forward. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. People helping people.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Monster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster, grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
Residents of Bartica continue to face scheduled power interruptions across the Region 7 town. The Guyana Power and Light Company is hoping to rectify the power supply issues within the next 24 hours. In a statement, GPL explained that the Bartica Power Station has 4 engines, but only one is operational at this time, along with a solar farm in the community. 2 engines are needed to meet the demand in the town. In a statement this afternoon, GPL said it is working overtime to get a second engine up and running. The company also said the unavailability of the 3 critical units has resulted in a reduced generation capacity at the Bartica power plant, prompting the need for scheduled service interruptions in the town. Under its plan, various sections of the town will face power outages for 8-hour periods at different intervals during the day and nights. GPL said its teams are working around the clock to expedite the required repairs and return the situation to some level of normalcy. East Ronville resident Odell Garnett, who was wanted for the attempted murder of 6-year-old Jeremiah Gustav, appeared in court last Thursday and was remanded to jail after the attempted murder charge was read to him. Garnett surrendered to the police last week, more than 2 weeks after a wanted bulletin was issued for his arrest. He is the second person to be charged in connection with the attempted murder of the 6-year-old Charlestown boy. Earlier last week, another East Ruimveldt resident, Marlon Marcus, was charged and remanded to jail for the same attempted murder. The two accused, Odell Garnett and Marlon Marcus, were reportedly involved in a shootout with each other when the young boy who was with his mother at her food stand was struck to the head by a bullet. The two suspects were identified by persons in the Charlestown area where the incident occurred, since they were well known in the community. The two reportedly had a disagreement over an unpaid debt, and it is that which reportedly triggered the shooting. The 6-year-old victim, Jeremiah Gustav, remains hospitalized in a critical condition. Today, his mother said that while he has not regained consciousness, he has begun to squeeze her hands whenever she's holding his hands and call out his name. The Guyana Police Force is continuing its drug eradication efforts across the country, and recently police ranks in Region 10 conducted an operation between the communities of Wiruni and St. Les in the Berbice River. During the operation, the police said a 3-acre marijuana farm was discovered, with plants ranging from 4 feet to 6 feet in height. The lawmen said they discovered 254 marijuana farm beds, with 50 plants on each of those beds. A total of 12,500 plants with an average weight of almost 28,000 kilograms were discovered. The police said the marijuana had a street value of just over $3.8 million. A nursery with about 25,200 marijuana plants and 140 pounds of dried marijuana were also found. 2 makeshift camps were found with 4 hammocks, but there were no arrests. The police said the entire marijuana farm was completely destroyed after being set on fire by the ranks. Investigations are ongoing.
Region 4. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting its annual general meeting for the period 2021 to 2022 on Sunday, the 25th of August, 2024 for members of Region Number 4. The meeting will be convened at the Critchlow Labor College, Wolford Avenue at 10 hours. Members are encouraged to pre-register at bit.ly/GPSCCU AGM 2024 for further instructions on how to take part in the meeting and to vote for a new committee of management. The meeting will take place both online and in person at various locations across the country. Full participation of members is encouraged. Let us move your credit union forward. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. People helping people.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jabs Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Liat 2020, the revived incarnation of one of the Caribbean's most popular airlines, made its historic maiden flight today, marking a significant milestone in regional aviation. The inaugural flight, bound for St. Lucia, took off at 11:30 hours, carrying a group of dignitaries and media representatives. The launch followed a brief opening ceremony where Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, and other officials expressed pride in this momentous occasion. The event underscores the collaborative effort between regional governments and Nigerian carrier Air Peace in breathing new life into the beloved airline. Liat 2020 begins its operation with a fleet of 7 aircraft, initially offering a limited schedule of 3 flights per week between Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, and Barbados. Venezuela is launching a criminal probe against the opposition leaders contesting last month's election for citing police and military officials to break the law, the country's top prosecutor said, as security forces targeted people they say committed violent crimes during the recent protests. The announcement by Attorney General Tariq Saab followed a letter posted on social network X by opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez and leader Maria Corina Machado, calling for security forces to stand by the people and respect the results of the election they say they won. President Nicolas Maduro's assertion that he won a 3rd term in the July 28 vote has triggered angry protests from Venezuelans across the country over the last week, demanding that Maduro step down and a Gonzalez win be honored. Venezuelan security forces have begun targeting alleged perpetrators of violent crimes during the protests in an operation informally called Knock Knock that several groups say has left protesters fearful. And finally tonight, international news. Kamala Harris has picked Tim Walz as her running mate for the presidential election, according to the BBC. The Minnesota governor and former high school teacher will become vice president if Harris beats Donald Trump in November. Walz gained national attention for his strategy of calling Trump and J.D. Vance weird, a phrase Harris has adopted when talking about her rival. The Harris campaign will be hoping Walz's plain-spoken and small-tongue Midwestern persona could appeal to independent and conservative voters. The Trump Vance campaign has issued a statement calling Walz a dangerously liberal extremist. Harris will officially introduce Walz as her running mate at a rally in Philadelphia tonight. Then they will tour key battleground states, according to the BBC. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.